All right, hey, it's Mike here with Martial Arts Growth, and in this video, I'm going to go over the 7 flaws that are destroying new student growth for martial arts schools. So if you're having trouble getting martial arts students, if you're feeling this gigantic lag that happened during this 2020 season where everything was shut down and all the things were just basically messed up and it was just really frustrating, then this is going to be really important for you because number one, you're going to understand where you're making mistakes. Number two, you're going to have awareness of what you need to do in order to change it. And quite frankly, this has already been figured out. So, and I mean how to get students predictably and consistently. So this isn't something where you need to be reinventing the wheel. You just need to get with the people that know how to do it, and you need to put it in place and let them help you. So that's what I'm going to start by doing here in this video, is talking to you about the 7 flaws that are destroying new student growth. So the first one is not tracking or focusing on cash flow. So almost every martial arts business owner that we talk to, and we've talked to thousands, and we have hundreds of clients all over the world in all types of different disciplines, from every type of culture and economy, you name it, okay? And one thing that I see as a constant is they have no idea what it costs to get a single student. So if you don't know what it takes to get one, how are you supposed to manufacture two, or how are you supposed to continue to get more, right? So this is a huge problem, and we've got to really get that fixed. You've got to know, what does it take in either time or money to generate one new paying student? Not leads, a paying student. And then if there is any tracking going on, it's tracking the wrong metrics. You know, if you're tracking the wrong metrics, you could, well, for instance, if you were tracking how fast you were going and you used that to base how much gas you had left, you'd probably run out of gas, and this would be a problem. And it wasn't because you weren't tracking, it was because you were tracking the wrong thing. So this is just as much of a problem as not tracking at all. And then most of you can't track because there is no system to track. If everything is different every day, and if every time we go to try to do something, we do it off the hip or just, out of just nowhere, and we don't have any idea or plan, there's no repetition. And then there's no, average and ratio that shows up where we can actually track and say, oh, this is not working. And what we try to do is really just get you in the mindset and focus of using, basically the scientific method is what we use. So you've got inputs, you've got processes that happen, and then you've got outputs. And then this gives you feedback. And this little process here where we go through this, input, process, output, feedback, when you have a system, you can then, and this is always happening in environments. So maybe you're doing ads, maybe you're doing organic, maybe you're doing email, whatever it is. You've got your inputs. Maybe this is your ads and the targeting and what it looks like and what it says. And then you put that out there with your market. And when these two things collide, okay, we'll just say your ads and your market, when those two things cycle, or when they, mix with each other, you're going to get some sort of result or output. And this output we then measure with the right metrics, and we get feedback. And this feedback tells us how to adjust the knobs, how to adjust and make things actually work consistently and better. So then we can improve our inputs and run this cycle again. And depending on where your environment is, whether you're on, maybe you're on Facebook, YouTube, email, however you're going about it, okay, we show you all the different ways, but this is how you do this. You need to be able to have a system. That way you can go to sleep at night knowing, hey, this is what's causing the machine to do this or that. Here's why we're not getting students. Here's why we are. Let's do more of what works, less of what doesn't. So this is extremely important, and it's a major flaw that I see in all the martial arts business owners. All right. Number 2 is not knowing your target audience, okay? So this is enormous, all right? This is a big, big problem that I see all the time. That we don't know who our ideal student is. We don't know who that is. And here's the biggest problem, is thinking that everybody is our student, right? So we have to really, really get this dialed in. You have to really know who they are. What is it that turns them on? What is it that turns them off? how they behave, right? You need to know how they behave on a normal everyday basis so that you know where to find them. You know where to understand what their next move's going to be. And then you would really want to know why they behave the way they do. Why do they actually join? What's causing them to want to join? Because see, everybody has a current situation, right? Everybody has a place that they're at. And everybody has this desired place that they want to be, okay? So this is true with anything and everyone, right? And so what makes the economy work, what makes this whole thing tick, is this gap right here between the current situation and the desired situation. And if you're not being focused on who you're working with and what you're doing, then this is even harder to figure out, because now you're trying to figure it out for different types of people, different types of groups and audiences. And what you really want to do is you want to look at the entire possible marketplace, and you want to identify a part of that market that has this extreme, demand of you and what you offer and how you help people. And so you want to find and identify this small group of people that all have the same common problem that you can actually fix. And then you need to really understand who those people are, how those people behave, and why they behave the way they do. That way you can really create messaging and really create what it is that you need to go out into the market and make them go, wow, I have got to look at that. I have got to check into that. I have got to sign up for that, because they know where I am. They know where I want to be, and they know how to get me across this gap easier, faster, with less pain and, less money and whatever it may be, right? So it's either faster or easier or more fun or just, guided, less stress. These are the things this is what causes the economy to work. People have a current situation, they want a desired situation, they want to get there faster, easier, more fun, less expensive, all that stuff. So if you don't know who your target audience is and you think everybody is your audience, this is a major problem. And I see it all the time. And they go, well, I want to help all these different kinds of people. Well, you can. Let's get one dialed in first. Let's get a consistent 10 to 20 or even 50 new students coming in predictably. Then we can go think about going into other markets if you want to. But the moment everybody's your customer, then you have competition and you become less, important and irrelevant, because you're it's just general. So you really, really need to focus on this. And what I would advise for a lot of you to do is you need to set up these 3 things right here, okay? And we're going to try to find the gold in the middle of all this, right? So this little spot right here is where the magic's at. That's what we really, really need to figure out. And this is, basically your target and the person you're going after and what's all going to work. In this part of the process here, you need to understand, what is it you're all passionate about within what you do? What are you all excited about? And then here, what we need to do is understand your skills and what it is that you have the ability to actually already solve for people. What is a focus? If you talk to all your students that you have now or anybody you've worked with in the past, why do they say that you're the best at X? Whatever that is. Or why do they think that you're the best place to go for that? Okay? And so you would find an overlapping, right here between what you really do love about what it is that you do within martial arts, and then what you really have a high skill level with, and find out where those 2 things meet in the middle, okay? Then you want to see, okay, based off of that, what demand is there in the marketplace? So you're going out to the market and you're finding demand. Maybe you're really good at working with women, and maybe you're really good at helping them understand how to protect themselves in certain situations with an abuser or whatever it may be, okay? So then you want to go out and make sure that actually is a demand out in the marketplace, and then you can create messaging around that. You can really understand who these women are. You can really understand who these people really hang out with and where they do all their stuff, how they actually go about handling the problem right or wrong or indifferent, and then why they go about trying to solve the problem the way they do. That way you can really dive in and make a message that is literally magnetic to them. I mean, where it is just, it's it causes a stimulus reaction when they see it. They cannot not go to it. It just magnetizes them, okay? So this is really, really important. If you don't know this, it makes it extremely hard for you to do anything. And, the big difference maker out there is you've got people that are martial arts business owners that are just winging it. And they're usually struggling. They're usually in conflict at home over finances. They're usually just, they have to have a couple other jobs, and their dojo's this like little hobbyish thing that they always wish would become something, but it can't, because they don't ever take it to that next level by really understanding how to do sales and marketing and showing the people that you need to show why you matter to them in the way that you do. And that's why it doesn't take off, right? The best way to well, truly the only real way to earn is to solve problems. So if you're not solving problems, then you're not earning. And if you can solve problems, but you're not solving problems, it's just because the people that have the problems don't know that you can solve them. It's that simple. So you need to devise, messaging and systems that actually do that for you 24/7, 365, while you get a focus on building a better product, building a better program. All right? So let's look at number 3 here. And this kind of bleeds off of number 2, which is not specializing and thinking everyone is your customer. When you do this and you don't have specialization within your craft, within what you teach, you're going to earn on average 30 times less than the person that is specializing. All right? When if you take like a general practice doctor, they have to see tons of patients all the time. They usually have to work, 6 days a week or something like that. They have a small little corner office, and they just work with everybody. They've got all these different targets and all these different people that they're focused on. And they, maybe make 6 figures, maybe, okay? And then you've got this other doctor, which is like a neurosurgeon, and they make, 7 figures. They got a big office with beautiful views. They get written up in scientific papers. They get talked about. They, have to only work a couple, patients a month, and they can get way more doing way less. But the big difference is specialization. While this person over here, the average martial artist, is trying to be specialized to this or trying to be, this person's coach and this person's coach, and we work with these people and these people and these people, you're only making like a small amount of, if you are even growing, you're making maybe like an inch of progress each day. Well, you only get so much time. And so while you're doing that, the person that is specialized is putting all their effort and attention into the right direction. And, if let's just call this hours in a day, if there's 8 hours in this work day, you're getting maybe, an inch in each direction in 8 different directions, where this person's getting 8 inches in one direction, and just, it's exponential. It's exponential growth. And you remove competition, because while they're trying to just be general, you only work with this specific type of people, and you develop your system around that. And then if you want to work with other people, you can just clone that system, and you can adjust the messaging for the other groups of people. But you've got to be able to do it with one before you can try to do it with all these other people. Again, you'll be going all these different directions, and it's a huge thing I see so much in the industry, and we're helping so many people overcome this, but it still seems to be like a big hold back. So, really pay attention to this, and then know how to actually make an offer. The simplest way to put this is, let's say there's 2 exact dojos, all right? And they're both offering literally the same thing. They have the same size, same equipment, same fancy place. It's all the same. They have same, location where it's easy to get to. Everything is the same, right? And then they even charge the same. How do you beat somebody like that? How does one win over the other? Well, you may, offer all of this stuff, and let's say that you charge, we'll just make it easy, $100 a month, okay? This person does $100 a month. And like I said, everything else is the same. So how does one beat the other one? Well, I would be like, if I'm this one over here, I would be like, well, yeah, you could go down the road. They have every single thing that we do, and they charge the exact same. They even teach the exact same we do, everything. But when you come to us, when your car is parked here, we wash it out in the parking lot. So you could go down there and have everything the exact same, but you don't get a car wash each day. Here at our place, you do. Now, that's a stupid example, but the example, hopefully in simplicity, helps you see that you just make it a better offer and you specialize. And so why would they, it'd be like, well, yeah, I could go down there and get the exact same thing, but here, at least I leave with a clean car every day, right? So you just need to understand your market. And when you do that and you specialize, you understand the little things that can make your offer so much more. And I'll tell you what, there's really easy ways to do it now because of technology, and we give you all those. But you really, if you feel like you have competition, it's because you don't know how to specialize an offer and you don't know how to market that offer to the people that it would matter to. So that is a big one. Okay, and then not using automation, systems, and retargeting. So this is number 4. So you're trading too much time for dollars, and time is finite. We only get so much of it. So, if everybody starts out, at basically the same weight, we all have about the average lifespan, we all have the same, everything's the same really for most people, okay? Assuming that we're just talking about, I know everybody has different situations, they grew up here, they whatever. But on average, we all live about the same time. We all have the same effects against us. And why is it that some people got drastically different results than other people? It's just because of the decisions that they make in the time that they have, right? They're making decisions that are getting them further faster, and that's really what you need to focus on. And when you're not using automation and you're not using systems, well, that means that you're having to trade time for dollars. It's 1-to-1 or 1 to a small, tiny group. Well, what you really want to do is you want to think of and list all the things. Number 1 is list all the things that you see in repetition in your business that can be automated and automated. It's simple, and we show you how. Number 2 is you want to then have that list, but once you automate it, you want to say, what are the important things that we need to monitor and track so that we can turn up the volume? If you don't know what causes more because you don't have a system in place, then you can't turn it up. So you really need to get that. And then why wouldn't you retarget properly? All right? Somebody comes, 90% of people that visit a website never visit it again, or 90% of people that even see an ad or look at anything never think about it ever again. There's just too much going on. So with, simple tech here, we can retarget and we can be everywhere, what I call omnipresent style. You're showing up on every website that they visit after they come to yours. You're showing up in their email. You're showing up on every social platform. And you're constantly reminding them why you matter with the messaging that we would help you create and that you need to create. And, you're just not systemizing the attraction part. You have to keep going out cold each time using leaflets or, going and setting in malls or trying to do door-to-door stuff. All these things that it's very hard to, number 1, automate if you could at all. And it takes too much time, and it's too 1-to-1. It's not pre-filtered. It's not pre-sold. This is crazy. The conversion process. You should be able to do a single phone call and get a brand new student. If you can't do that, you're really missing out where this has already been done. The wheel's been created, invented. It's there. We've already proven this with, there's a 12-step little script you go through, 1 phone call, no follow-up needed, close a big client, a big new student. They'll pay many months in advance. And if you don't believe me, well, I guess that's, we have some of the biggest names in the industry doing it every single day. So you just need to get on ball with that. I'm not coming to you with things that, are theory. We have proven metrics on all of this stuff. And the fact that you're watching this kind of proves that it works, right? So then if you can, and you always can, you need to automate and systemize your delivery. So there's so many things that you could be doing with what you're teaching each day that can turn into a sub product, or you can basically productize your service, and you could be feeding more of an audience than you are just one-to-one, and that causes you to have more, energy or resources to run ads and do all those types of things. So, the big thing is turning advertising into profit, and what's great is working with profit to run your ads. So, there's a huge thing that's being missed right here, and the people that are taking advantage of it now are literally going to be like 5 years ahead of the ones just catching on. So this retargeting is just an absolute must. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. So, once you list out all the things that are in repetition, then you need to show all the things that need to be, how do you measure these things? Okay, what is important to measure? All right. And once you have those two things, now it's like eliminate waste and ramp up or scale the things that cause more. All right. And then it'll run without you. That's what's great about today. All right. Like this is running without me right now. This is not a live video, of course, but you're watching it while I'm doing something else. That's the key thing about a system. It just eliminates the time barriers. Okay. Number 5 is not marketing in reverse and distracted with shiny objects. If you're chasing 2 rabbits, typically you won't catch either of them. And if you're not, what I call marketing in reverse, this is a huge problem. So a lot of people, they'll just think they know what their people want, and they just go run out there and just get after it and do it. Okay, well, I'm glad you're acting instead of just theorizing. But what you really want to do is use the tools that we have today, and you want to go out there and you want to find demand first. Find out what is it that they're looking for. What problems are they trying to solve? And you can do this literally for free if you know what to do and how to do it. Again, we've already invented this wheel. You don't need to reinvent it. And you can see what needs to be created. A big thing that I learned was I don't write my copy or I don't write my ad messaging. My client does. You just got to go find it and reorganize it like Lego blocks, and it will go boom to them because it'll be like you're reading out of their diary, and they'll go, gosh, this person really knows where I'm at and what's going on. And so when you create, YouTube videos or organic videos or, Facebook videos, whatever, and you're using paid advertising and you do it based off demand first, when it hits, they're like, wow, I was just talking about that the other day, and they cannot not look at it. So this is huge. And so many people are focusing on these low output things, these dated, marketing things or untraceable strategies where you can't track it. It's not that those things don't work. They just work so small that you run out of energy and resources before they work enough. And they used to work when we didn't have these new tools, when we didn't have this new tech, when we didn't have these easy little systems. Like, you're still holding your food over a fire out on a log. We've got an oven. We've got a grill. We've got microwave, right? So that's, forget about the microwave and all that stuff. It's the fact that why are you using the old sticks and stones method when you don't have to? And if you're saying, well, it's because it's too hard, you're just telling yourself that it's not really that hard. You just need somebody that can break it down step by step, click by click, in Lego form to show you. That's it. And then, it's just this crazy unfocused chasing of thinking like, oh, I'll plug in this new software. I see all the softwares that are available, and I have nothing bad to say about them. They're softwares that track ranking and belts and help you keep your customers organized and if billing and all that stuff. Okay, great. But, the softwares will say, oh, automation. And their type of thinking with automation and what you actually need is two different things. Civilization has advanced in a way where generic messaging and things like that doesn't work. So, and if it does, it's so minimalized that it's not worth the effort. It's like diminishing returns. So you need automation where when somebody does this, it sends this message based off how they're behaving, right? And then the message makes sense, and it's an ongoing conversation that makes sense. if you're saying the wrong, if every time we met, I was like, hey, my name is Mike, you're like, yeah, you told me that already, it would start to go against our relationship connection instead of add to it. And that's what a lot of this stuff is doing. Also with the softwares, the softwares only work if you have students. So but for the softwares to work and grow your school and whatever they say, like you've got to have students first. So that's what you need to focus on. Thinking that these funnels, that it's funnels that make the big deal. Yeah, funnels are extremely important. I don't know why you would operate without one. But it's not the funnel, it's what you're saying in the funnel, right? So you have like two types of web pages, right? Web page number 1, it gives information. Website type number 2, it takes information. All right, well, that's cool. Funnel is just website pages, okay? So you'd have a series of website pages, but it's what those pages say that matters, right? And those emails, it's what is in, it's not the email itself, it's what's in the email that matters, okay? And the ads on social and wherever else, it's not the ads and stuff like that, it's what they actually say. It's what they are delivering. These things are just literally like a vessel. It's like a ship out in the sea, but if it's just empty, there's no value there, right? Like it's what's in there, and that's where people are missing the boat here. They're buying the boat and the vessel and they're using it, but they're saying, "Oh, it doesn't work." Well, it's not about just having it out there. It's about what does it say. And these widgets, like, I hear these like robotic replies and auto reply things and all that. Again, it's not you're just going to plug it in and have it and it's going to work. You've got to use the principles of messaging and what it needs to do, right? And so you need to be able to fill this out right here. I help X to Y by Z. So X here, whoops, darn thing. X here is basically your niche, right? So you need to, again, be specialized and know your niche. And then in the Y part of this is, what is the problem that you solve? Okay, again, specialization. So what is the problem that you solve? And then the Z part of this is, how do you solve it? Like, what is this thing that's going to cause curiosity for them to go, oh, I got to go check. Okay, so this is like the base root principle of your message. I help, women in a physical altercation with their partner to overcome physical, abuse or whatever with my 5-step, system, formula theory. Okay, and then they're gonna go, oh, what is that? If you're like, I help women to learn self-defense with my karate program. They're like, yeah, heard that. Don't need to go check out that movie. I've seen that movie play a million times. You want this to be over here, it's some sort of like, theory or formula or, system or, whatever. It needs to be something where they go, whoa, that sounds like it's got the benefit in it, but I'm curious what that is. And then they go learn about it. Okay. That's a big, big help there. So you just focus on this. This will help tremendously. But if you keep, changing directions all the time and you think, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this, that's what's happening is there's money draining out of the bucket and there's confusion and stress and you're going in all these different directions. We have a simple 4-step system that you use, and it is so consistent that we have just literal, like to the decimal point numbers. You'll know to the dollar a day what it takes to generate a new paying student, and you'll be able to see the results. So, yeah, you really need to get that in place. Okay. On to number 6 here is not keeping it simple or focusing on the basics. So the things that you really need to focus on is your strategy to the market. You need to have just a pure, clean strategy, which is, I put here, attract, convert, and deliver. That's what you're doing. And then once you have that process giving the results that you want, then you focus on automating that. All right. And honestly, with what we do, it's already there. We already built it. It's already designed. It's already automated. You just have to fill it in, which we help you with forever, lifetime. It's already done. So why waste the time trying to figure that out on your own? It could take years. It'd be stressful, take tons of, time and energy and money. There's just no reason for it. Okay. And so many people are just theorizing all day what they should do instead of just acting. You got to just get it. Go grab a niche. Let's move and go. Okay. So you just got to keep it simple. We don't need to do all these robot response things and all this crazy stuff like chat bots and none of the softwares and all this stuff. Just keep it simple. You need an attraction system, you need a conversion system, you need a delivery system, and then you need to automate so that you have your life and time. And then you need to develop a really great product and offer. You need to have a better offer than the competition. Okay, and you may say, well, how could I offer something better? Martial arts is martial arts. Well, no, it's not. There's a umpteen ways that we can show you that are proven that better ways to make offers. And it really does matter. If everybody does offer what you offer, how are you going to beat them? Okay, well, you can learn how to beat them very easily. Okay, there's ways to make great offers. And you need to really have powerful customer service. Okay, these are things that you need to focus on. Focus on these basics. That'll grow your thing more than anything. And then the big one is not learning sales and marketing. And that's the big difference between a small struggling business versus an empire and a legacy. Okay? And so let me explain. So many martial arts business owners, they just want to teach. Oh, I love to teach. I just want to teach and I don't want to focus on sales and marketing and all this stuff. It's the huge difference between the winners and the losers. I mean, it's by far the biggest dynamic. You don't have anybody to teach unless you have people to teach, right? So how do you get those people to teach? Well, I can tell you this ugly sales and marketing, words that people like when they hear that, they think of I think they think of like sweating on the phone and like doing these things and hearing no all the time. You're only going to hear those things if you don't know how to approach your market, okay? Sales and marketing, you could just change this with the word educate, right? Either one of these words can be that, right? So all a business is a professional entity that solves problems professionally, okay? Entrepreneurs are just professional problem solvers. Well, sales and marketing, it can sound gruesome and grimy if you don't know what you're doing, but all you're doing is just educating your specialized audience that you're going after on the ways that you matter to them and how you can get them across that gap. Remember when we talked about there's people in their current situation and they're trying to get to this desired situation, and when you know what that is exactly the way they see it in their head and you can describe it to them that way, then you can show them how you get to this place easier, faster. And when you can help them understand that you can cross the gap with them faster, better, easier, more fun, cheaper, whatever, why would they not do it if that's what they're trying to do? This is simple, and this is what creates new students, okay? So this is something that you just have to have in place, and what's great is, again, it can be automated. Before we had automation and things like that, it did take a lot of time. It was a daily blah, 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 blah. But once you get this set in place, it can run for a long, long time before you need to change it. You do need to track it each day, which takes, I don't know, the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee. It doesn't take long to go grab your metrics real quick and throw them in there. And you can also show somebody else how to do that. And we also show you how to show somebody else how to do that. And then the biggest one that I see here at number 7 is just ignoring email. All right, so email is still, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, the number one thing that works in marketing, okay? It's the best investment in marketing. For every dollar spent on email, I think it makes back like $4 or something like that. I think it could probably higher. I didn't see that for a long time, so it could be changed quite a bit. But even then, looking at our own stats, for every dollar that we've invested in email, on average, it turns back almost $7. So here's the thing. Email can go where social can't. Email, it overcomes restrictions that social puts on you, social platforms. You can market to that list without ads, and that list, they're only on that list because they've been filtered through, giving you their email. And the only reason they would do that is because they came to the list because they wanted to learn that certain thing. So I know that's kind of abstract, so let me make more sense of this. The only reason, anyone's on my email list is because they're a martial arts business owner looking to get more students by doing less, and they want to have an automated inbound machine to do it for them. So I know that the communication I have with that list is going to be about getting new students predictably and consistently. If they're not a martial arts business owner, why would they opt in for something designed just for martial arts business owners? So it filters it out, which makes it's like going fishing and not, knowing what's out there, right? You just cast all day, trying all these different lures, it'd be frustrating. But if they're like, hey, the only thing in this pond over here is catfish, well, all you got to do is bring catfish lures with you. You're going to catch them. And the more you understand the catfish in that pond and how they behave and why they behave that way and who they are, and the lure can just, every time you put it in, pull one out. Okay? So that's kind of the concept, if you will, to simplify how powerful email is. And it's a really powerful research tool and developing new offer tool, because you can just, reach out to that list and communicate with them and talk to them very easily. And business, as I've got here, it's a forever research project. You're constantly researching your customers so that you can understand how to matter to them more. Because whoever matters more to the customer gets the customer's exchange in value. And so when you know where to look and you have this, email list and it's built up, you're forever going to be, frankly, having a powerful, focused, and filtered email list, it's probably one of the most valuable things ever. So let's not have our head in the sand, as this picture shows, on not having this. If you're not building a consistent email list of new potential focused students that you're looking for, that you would love to work with, this is a huge flaw that you've got to get corrected. And I love how it says, it is not necessary to change. Survival is not mandatory. It's pretty sarcastic, but that's how some people are operating out there. They're acting like, oh, my dad did it this way, his dad did it this way, I'm going to do it this way, and there's no change. And change, sometimes, it kind of feels weird. So it's okay though. You'll get through it and you can do it. You just don't waste time because it's finite. You only get so much of it. So let's make sure that we're utilizing it, and let's make sure that we're putting systems and automations and things like that in place so that we can focus more on building powerful products, and we can focus more on just teaching and growing our school and getting another location and being a better, basically solution provider to these people, and be able to go on a vacation for once, be able to sleep at night knowing this thing's consistently growing and that it's prepared and ready to go into the future to continue to grow on past you and build a real legacy that continues to help people and continues to change their lives. Okay? So if this, stuff is what you want to learn, and you want to do it faster, and you want to do it easier, and you want to do it with less expense in both time and resources financially, then you've really got two options, okay? Option number one, you can keep doing what you're doing, and as it says, you'll keep getting what you're getting. And you can also go try to figure this stuff out on your own. It'll be harder. It'll take longer. It'll be more stressful, be more frustrating. It could take you just way more resources than it ever should. And frankly, if you want to do that, go for it. I don't think that's the smartest thing to do. Option number two is, set up a call with us. It's absolutely free. We'll go over, your current situation. We'll go over where you're at and what you're capable of doing based off where you're at. We'll talk about where you want to go and what your goals are. We'll find out if we're a good fit for you. We'll find out if, we can actually help you or not. And if we can't, we'll be completely straight with you on that. And then, let us look at a roadmap and a strategy for you going forward. It's not a sales call. We're not pressuring anybody. This isn't an offer where it has to be that way. Either it's a good fit or not. You'll get to ask us whatever questions you want, and then we can show you how this can work for you, and then you get to make a decision whether you want to be a part of it or not. No big deal. If not, you're going to leave that call with an incredible game plan, clarity on where you are, how to get to where you're going, and we'll give you the best suggestions on what to do next if you don't want to let us help you. So no big deal, okay? It's a really powerful call, probably one of the best calls you've made in your martial arts business to date. And really, what do you have to lose? It's free. So, I look forward to speaking with you. And again, get clear on what's going on and what you can actually do and if this is a good setup for you. So option number 1, go at it alone. Option number 2, let us help you. The thing to do right now is just press the button or click and go set up that call. Let's get on a phone. Let's talk and just be civil with each other and have a great conversation. And, within 15 minutes or something like that, 20 minutes, we can know whether or not we're a good fit for each other. Either way, this is going to be all in your favor. You're going to come out of it with a roadmap. You're going to know where you're at, and you're going to know what is the best next thing to do. Okay? So I hope you found a lot of value in this. And, I really enjoy making these types of videos for you, and I hope that this helps you have some more clarity. But I just want you to know that there is a better way. The wheel has been invented, and we are here to stand behind everything that we're offering you, which is how to get more students by actually doing less using our automated inbound student generation machine. So if you want to see how that works and what that's all about, click right now, go schedule that call, and I look forward to talking with you.